You claim that socialism has engulfed this country, that it keeps creeping, it's going to take over private businesses, et cetera, et cetera. That is not happening.
Now, we can go around and around in circles about trying to talk about and defining socialism, but at its core, I was intrigued by an op-ed that I saw not too long ago by a Democrat from Cuba commenting on one of our colleagues, an avowed socialist, and essentially pointing out the extent to which democratic socialism is a lot like the system my family fled, except its proponents promised to be nicer when seizing your business. And that's the truth. That's the truth here. And so we can talk about these terms as if they don't matter, but they do. They do matter. They're actually at the core of who we are. I've got one question for the ranking member, Ranking Member Waters. In a 2008 hearing, you said, quote, "And guess what this liberal will be all about? This liberal will be all about socializing, would be about basically taking over the government and the government running all of your companies," end quote. Simple question, do you stand by that statement?
Simple answer. I am here today in this Rules Committee because we're taking up time with basically a non-issue. First of all, you claim that socialism has engulfed this country, that it keeps creeping, it's going to take over private businesses, et cetera, et cetera. That is not happening. We're in a democracy that we're trying very much to save.
What you're about to hear is one of the most embarrassing political cell phones you will ever witness. In this moment, Chip Roy doesn't just challenge Maxine Waters, he obliterates her by reading her own words on socialism right back to her face. And before we break down this explosive exchange, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Right Focus so you never miss a takedown this real, this raw, and this undeniable.
Save, and to not have disrupted, undermined in the way that...
So then, reclaiming my time, the gentlelady denounces your previous statement then, and do not accept that previous statement that you think you would take over these private businesses?
I'm not a socialist. I'm a capitalist, and I commit to you that I am here to save Social Security, to save Medicare, to save seniors and veterans, and for some of you who have adopted certain kind of ways that you support what you now claim is socialism, I'm here to say to you, come on.
So this liberal will be all about socializing, will be all about basically taking over and the government running all of your companies. You disagree with that? You now denounce that statement?
I am not a socialist.
Okay.
All right?
So I appreciate the response. I think that to the extent that one has a concern as a member of this body or as an American watching this, one has concerns when we hear statements like this, and that's not the only one. And statements by some of our colleagues on the other side of the aisle extolling the virtues of socialism, as I just pointed out, a nicer way of compensating businesses.
Welcome back to Right Focus. If this is your first time here, hit that like button and subscribe because what we're breaking down today is one of the cleanest political takedowns you'll see all year. Chip Roy didn't simply challenge Maxine Waters. He didn't simply disagree. He took her own words, her own record, her own publicly stated beliefs, and dropped them right back in her lap. And the reaction was exactly what you'd expect when a politician knows the truth has finally caught up with them. We're talking about a 2008 statement where Maxine Waters openly said she would be all about socializing and having the government run private companies. Not hinted at it. Not suggested reform. She said it flat out. And today, when Chip Roy read those words back to her, she tried to act like it never happened. This is the classic pattern. Politicians drift toward socialism, get called out, and suddenly pretend they never said what they clearly said. Waters tried to dismiss the entire conversation as a non-issue. She tried to laugh off the idea that socialism is creeping into government policy. But the reality is simple, it's only a non-issue if you want people to stop paying attention. When she was cornered by her own words, she pivoted. Suddenly she calls herself a capitalist. Suddenly she claims she's here to protect Social Security, Medicare, and veterans. That's fine, but it has nothing to do with her original statement. It's political misdirection, avoid the receipts, distract with emotion, and hope the public forgets. Chip Roy didn't let her escape. He pressed her twice. Do you stand by your statement? Do you denounce it? Do you still believe what you said back then? And instead of giving a direct answer, she tried to reclaim her time and change the topic. Here's the truth: when a politician refuses to take accountability for their own words, it tells you everything. This is why Americans are concerned about stealth socialism. It doesn't march in openly anymore. It hides behind friendly branding like fairness and equity. But the policy direction tells the real story: more control, more regulation, more power consolidated in government hands. Chip Roy called that out today. He drew a line. He made it clear that freedom doesn't erode all at once. It erodes quietly, behind the speeches that sound good but mask the intentions underneath. So let's be clear. Chip Roy walked into that hearing prepared. He delivered the facts. He exposed the contradiction. And he held Maxine Waters accountable when she tried to rewrite her own history. Chip Roy 1. Maxine Waters 0. If you appreciate hearing the truth without filters, make sure you like this video, subscribe to Right Focus, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next takedown. Thanks for watching.